Hi everybody, my name's Shubra. I'm the sales director with ANZCRO, and today I will be hosting with my colleague Jan, who will be talking about the amazing distinction hotels and the Maori culture of. I'm sorry, I'm having a little issue with moving my slides. Hang on. There we go. Talking about distinction hotels and the Maori culture of Te Patu. So, if I can ask you to just switch your microphones off. If there are any questions, just add them to the box at the end, and what we'll do is answer your questions. But for now, relax and enjoy from Jan.
Thanks, Shubha, and good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I will just see if I can take control. Here we go. Right, so my name is Jan, and I'm based here in the UK. I represent Distinction Hotels. For those of you who might not know Distinction Hotels, it's a New Zealand-owned, run, managed company with 19, just opened our 19th hotel a couple of weeks ago, spread throughout the two islands in New Zealand. And you might be familiar with some of them because quite a few of them are featured in the ANZCRO brochure. So you probably will be familiar with some of them as I run through them. So I'm just going to give you a brief overview of what Distinction Hotels can offer. So we've got the company is called Distinction Hotels Group, and we got three sub-brands. We got our Gold Collection, which is the sort of 4.5-star properties. And then we have our Silver Collection, which is our 4-star. And then we have our Discovery Hotels Group or hotels, which is, there's about 4 of them. And that's our 3-star, bit more sort of motel type accommodation. And you'll see what I mean when I go through the presentation. So starting off with a map of New Zealand here. We like a good map. Always good to give you an idea about where you are. Starting up in the Bay of Islands in a place called Whangarei. You can see on the map here, you've got Auckland and then up to Bay of Island. It's a good sort of 1.5 hour drive from Auckland up to the Bay of Islands. Lots of things to see and do up there. It is actually a great spot to visit, and people will go up there and you could quite easily spend 3-4 days, even more, up there seeing some of the sites up there. And I'm just showing you a couple of images here of what you actually can see and do up there. But if you look in the ANZCRO brochure, they have lots of ideas and inspirations of things to see and do up there. And it's a prime spot if clients are doing a self-drive, go up there and discover some of the little bays and areas up there. So you'll see from my slides here. Now, back to what I'm here to talk about are the hotels. So we got the Distinction Whangarei Hotel, which is right in the center of town. It's literally overlooking the marina. You can see on the picture there. And it's a good 4-star hotel, good size rooms. If any of you have ever been to New Zealand, you probably have picked up on the fact that rooms in hotels in New Zealand tend to be a lot larger than rooms here in the UK. And yeah, they're just, quite good large size rooms for your luggage, and often double rooms will have 2 double beds. So yeah, quite spacious. Moving on here, a couple more images of the hotel. You can see it's a bit like the picture top right hand corner. That's sort of an aerial shot of the hotel. So you can actually, looks a bit like a motel. You park your car outside your sort of front door, so they don't have corridors, inside corridors. It's all sort of spread out, a few buildings set over this area. So yeah. Moving on, we have another property, one of our Discovery brands. So that was the 3-star brands in Whangarei as well. It's just a little bit on the outskirts of town. It's a small little village up there, so quite easy. They got parking and you could easily walk into town where you have lots of cafes and restaurants and bars, and they'll actually also have a little bar area in the hotel if clients wants to stay there. Moving down to Rotorua, which is south of Auckland. It's a good 2 hours drive from Auckland down, so obviously a bit further if you come all the way up from Bay of Islands. Again, Rotorua is sort of the home of really the home of Maui culture, and I'll talk a bit more about that later on. But apart from the Maui experiences there's lots of other things you can do and explore in Rotorua, and of course it's also the home to the famous geysers there that is quite interesting to go and watch. So just on the outskirts of Rotorua, we got the Distinction Hotel, which is a good 4-star hotel, that one. Free parking, quite a large hotel, 133 rooms. And it is a good 25 minutes walk into the center of town, that one. But again, if clients have a car, and it's actually quite a pleasant walk into town, that one. So you'll see the rooms here. The rooms have recently been refurbished. Again, good size rooms, nice restaurant. They actually have a Japanese restaurant on site as well as their regular restaurant, a big bar area. So really lovely property, that one, to stay at. Moving down, I'm not going to go through all the Distinction hotels. I've just selected a few key ones that typically people from the UK places they often would go to and visit. So we're now going down to the South Island, to Christchurch, where we also have a property. That's the property you see on the right there, the tall white building, right in the centre of Christchurch, a place called Cathedral Square. You actually have, if any of you have ever been to Christchurch or familiar with Christchurch, behind the tree there, you got the old cathedral that unfortunately was well, they're rebuilding it now, but it was badly damaged about 12 years ago when they had the big earthquake there. So yeah, you got the Distinction Hotel there, which is right in the center of town, and just behind the hotel you got all the shopping and cafes and restaurants. So it's a great spot to stay. Car parking facilities as well at the property there. It's a good 4.5-star property, very modern, quite contemporary. You'll see the picture at the bottom. That's the lobby, reception area, and then you've got an image of one of the rooms there. So bathrooms, good sized bathrooms, and we have all sorts of different types of rooms, double rooms, studios, apartments as well. So and you'll see that all in the ANZCRO brochure system. You'll be able to have access to all the different room types they have there. Yeah. Moving down to a place called Twizel, which is right in the middle of the South Island. Now, it's a place a lot of people would drive from Christchurch across over to Queenstown, Te Anau. So Twizel and a place called Omarama is a great spot to stop for the night. You also got the famous Mount Cook, just half an hour's 20 minutes drive from Twizel. So it is a place a lot of people really want to visit and stop. And we got a couple of properties down there, and it is just an absolutely stunning place. And this is really where you sort of, the area around Christchurch is quite flat, but in the distance you see the mountains, and as you get closer to Twizel, you will get closer to the mountains, and it's all quite spectacular there. There was a little video there. I'm going to skip that for now, but yeah, the scenery down there is quite something. So we've got a Distinction Hotel in Twizel. Now, Twizel is a small little village. There's no other way to describe it. It's got a few shops and stuff there. And it is a bit like a kind of a little motel. Again, you park your car outside, and you have your own room. The picture of the room at the last picture here, the third one down, is actually one of the old room types. We are currently going through a major refurb, and all the rooms will be finished by the end of October this year, which is quite exciting. And it really will look amazing. I was down there, lucky to go down there in May myself this year, and the new rooms will just look fantastic, absolute fantastic property. Um, and as I said, it's a great little spot to stop for a night or two because there are just so many things to do down there. People go walking, cycling, go up to Mount Cook, and it's yeah, it really is a very special, unique place. They've got a restaurant and a bar at the property as well. So easy to you can have a meal there and stay there for a few nights. Just have to add here, it's not the view from one of our hotels here, unfortunately. So, but and then just down the road, which is probably a 10-minute drive from Twizel, you've got Omarama, where we've got two distinction hotels. And again, that road down there, there's lots of walking and places to go and explore and see. Now, the two properties, again, we have down in Omarama, again, recently, like the Twizel property, taken over by Distinction Hotels, hence why we're spending a bit of money on refurbishing the rooms there. Looks absolutely amazing now. The bathrooms have been refurbished there, and the hotel is just on that main road when you go down the South Island towards Te Anau. When I say main road in New Zealand, it's not what we sort of mean by main roads in the UK. It is very quiet and very easy to drive in New Zealand. So yeah, the picture you will see here, that's a standard. The picture at the bottom, standard double room at the property, and they've got a restaurant and a bar as well at the property. Just a couple of pictures here. And again, we have another property in Omarama, so we've got two there. The Discovery Hotel, which is a good 3-star property. The picture you see in the middle there is actually the sort of the outdoor terrace of the restaurant bar area. Not a bad spot to sit and have your breakfast with the mountain view in the background there. And we go down to this little map of the South Island here. We go over to a place called Te Anau, which is over on the west coast. It really is a place where people will stop if they go up to Milford Sound, Doubtful Sound. You would stop for a night or two here, and we got a couple of properties there. Both properties, again, can be sold through ANZCRO. We got the Distinction Te Anau Hotel and Villas. Now, this property is located just on the lake. I was a bit hesitant here saying on the lake. There is a road between the hotel and the lake. Again, it's not a busy road, but you have half of the rooms at the property have lake views, and the other half of the property have garden views. So it's a very unique little spot. And again, the village of Te Anau is just a very special little place to go and visit, and you could quite easily spend a few days there because there's so many things to do around the whole area, the region. Just going up to Milford or Doubtful Sound will take a day to go and explore those places, and then there's all the places just around Te Anau you can go and see. So just a few more shots of the property here. The picture at the top left-hand corner, that gives you a bit of an idea about, you've got the lake in front of you there, and then you got the property. Just around the corner, we have another property, Distinction Loxmoor, which is slightly bigger. It's a 180 room hotel. And again, it's sort of set in the village of Te Anau. Couple of refurbished rooms we have at the Loxmoor here. Then we move over to Dunedin, which is on the east coast. So you will see on the map here where it's located. We've got a property down there, Distinction Hotel, that we opened about 8 years ago now, I think it is. 4.5-star property, absolutely fantastic property, just incredible. Completely, it was an old post office building that we converted into a hotel. So it's very modern, contemporary, but it also has a lot of old original features. It was built in the early 1930s, so they still got like some of the old original tiles in the property, all very Art Deco style. They've got the old original lift in there as well, which is quite unique and quite amazing. And if you look, yeah, you'll see all the rooms there. Now, just one thing to point out with this property, all the rooms here will have, even the standard room will have a washing machine and a dishwasher. Sorry, washing machine and a dryer, which is quite a selling point for clients coming from the UK, because if they're traveling around in a camper van for a week or 2 weeks, and we have actually had quite a few people. I think you had a presentation last week by THL. So we do have a few people, especially at the Distinction Dunedin, that actually have traveled around in a camper van, and then they would spend a few nights at the Dunedin property just to get themselves organized a bit and get their washing done. A lot of the other Distinction hotels do have laundry facilities. They might not necessarily have it in the rooms, but they will have a little laundry room area at the property, most of them. So yeah, moving on. Just a little sort of quirky thing about the Distinction property in Dunedin. They've got this because it was an old post office down in the basement where the vaults were, where they kept all the money and gold and whatever they had. We've converted them into private dining areas. You can actually, if you look at the top corner here, you'll see the old vaults. Now, I have to say they are not the original ones. We cheated a bit. It is actually wallpaper. But the door you see here, the picture on the bottom left, is actually the old big sort of vault door, quite a heavy door to open and close. So yeah, just a few quirky little things. Outskirts of Dunedin, we got another property, great again for the self-drive market, parking facilities. It's a good 4-star property, nice little bar restaurant area and big gardens. They have sort of a courtyard kind of thing in the hotel as well, which is really nice. Now, our jewel in the crown, hot off the press, down in a place called Invercargill. Now, we'll be honest, not many people, or that many people, go down to Invercargill, although it is a place that is sort of growing in popularity. It really is a place, fantastic place to stop for a few nights. Most people going there will go off to Stewart Island to do a bit of a Kiwi spotting. Or people might do a self-drive from Dunedin down through an area called the Catlins region, which is just absolutely beautiful down the coast here and over into Invercargill. Just some of the things. Stewart Island, don't know if any of you have been there, but an amazing place where you can go off and do walking. And there is a few hotels or bed and breakfast on Stewart Island you can stay at, but a lot of people just go there for the day. There's a place called Transport World in Invercargill, which is an amazing, unique private collection, huge, absolutely huge collection of cars, motorbikes, caravans, you name it, anything to do with transport. It's even though you might not be interested in that kind of thing, it's sort of quite a unique place. So we've got the new Distinction Hotel in Invercargill that opened a few weeks ago. Right in the center of town, good 4.5-star property, and that's a shot of the picture of the property there. Looks absolutely amazing and just incredible property. As I said, good 4.5-star hotel. Lobby, you'll see the bar area in the back there, restaurant, and one of our rooms there. All brand new, modern property. It was an old building that an old tax office that they gutted completely and sort of build a hotel there. But it's just absolutely incredible property. That one looks really good. Again, I mentioned about the Dunedin property, washing machine and dryer in all the rooms. You'll see them in the bathroom here. There is a door you can put across here. So yeah. And that was it on Distinction Hotels. Any questions on Distinction Hotels before I go on to talk about Te Patu? Oh, great. I hope that sort of gave you a bit of an idea of what we can offer. But as you might have noticed, quite a few of the properties are in the ANZCRO brochure, and even more of the properties will be in the system of ANZCRO, so you'll find them in there. And we're currently running a promotion for the Locksmore property in Tiano and the Invercargill property. So there's a special ANZCRO promotion that you'll see details of in there. So yeah, going on to Tipatu, which is quite a unique product. So Tipatu is located just on the outskirts of Rotorua. So I mentioned earlier that Rotorua is sort of the home of Maori culture in New Zealand. And Tipatu has been going for many years. Some of you might, if you've sold New Zealand for some years, be familiar with it. It used to be called Tamaki, but rebranded during COVID and is now called Tipatu. So they had a real sort of look at what they were doing and changed the product quite a bit and made it a bit more unique and a bit more about the whole storytelling aspect of Maui culture. They reduced the number of people visiting every night. They used to have about 160 people coming every night, lots of coaches and so on, and they reduced that down to 80 people every night. So it's a lot more sort of engaging, interactive experience now. Your guests, your clients will really get a chance to talk to the people there. So yeah, moving on. So to give you an idea, so yeah, a little map here, Auckland down to Rotorua. And then you've got Tipatu, sort of a good 15-minute drive from Rotorua. The good thing is we will pick you up. So when you make a booking, you just put into the system where your clients are staying, and guests will be picked up from any hotel in Rotorua, taken out to the village, and then back again. And it's a good sort of 4 hour. You're picked up about 5:30, quarter to 6, and you're back at your hotel 10:15. So it's a pretty, I think, in many ways, easy sell because it's an evening product, and there isn't that many things to do in the evening in Rotorua. So it's a great way of going out, experiencing local culture. So Te Patu itself, a place, a sense of well-being, and that's very much what it's all about. That sort of Maui, the spiritual side of it. So it's a lot more going a bit deeper than some other products in the region. And it really is quite a unique, the storytelling they have there and the people they have there, their knowledge and experience and how they're sharing that. The cuisine as well is quite something. So they run two different programs. So they have a one called Tute Ihi, which is their winter, and then Tute Ra, which is the summer celebration. So as you'll see, it runs from winter, is from October to, sorry, beg your pardon. Summer is from October to April, the opposite of what we have here, and then the winter is from May to September. And they do have slightly sort of different themes and different storytelling they go through there. The whole experience overall, the timing is the same and so on, but they're just sort of focusing a bit more on the whole. Certainly the winter one is a bit more storytelling, sitting around the fire, whereas in the summer, if you look on the right hand side here, you're outside, it's all in the open. In the winter we go inside to have a big communal hall there where a lot of the performances will take place, whereas again in the summer it's all outside. So but both, I'll probably say the winter one actually in many ways would probably be a bit more more atmospheric in a different way. I mean, of course it's amazing sitting outside as well, but the winter one is quite unique as well. And what they do also, they split people into different small groups. So you have a couple of locals with you in the group, and they go around and they talk about weaving. They'll talk about making food and harvesting and spears, hunting, spears making, hunting, tools, and all sorts of things. And it is very interactive. So you will get involved and get your hands dirty if you want to. It's quite a unique place, and here you'll see. Now, just to finish off, I just want to play you a very short video here that really will give you a bit of an idea.
Make love. And what we do is actually grab a shower.
Right. I think that will, I mean, as you could see from the video, it is quite atmospheric, and there are times when you're visiting that, you know, you do feel goosebumps, and you do feel quite emotional. It's they just have a way of showing their culture. So yeah. Great. Thank you very much, everyone. Really appreciate your time this morning and your busy schedules, and hope you learned something. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jan. I mean, I was really fortunate to have been to Rotorua this year and got to visit the Distinction hotels, but also got a taster of the Te Patu performance. And it's absolutely breathtaking. You know, your emotions really fill by watching, you know, how they perform and just the cultural aspect. And I think that's what's so fantastic about supporting Distinction hotels. You know, they're a true Kiwi representation of New Zealand, and you know, our clients' itineraries are very much about discovering the islands, and Distinction really gives you a taster when you go to all those different areas. I remember when I first joined, and I was, well, what's the importance of having washing machines in a hotel? But I tell you, it's something that is so required, you know, because yeah, I mean, obviously 25 kilos on a plane, fantastic, but you are limited if you are traveling and you're doing so many different excursions and experiences. So little things like that, you know, are really important for your clients. So yeah, take on board, obviously, that we've got our big Kiwi sale on at the moment. We've got some great deals with airlines, obviously hotel stays, experiences. This is a little taster of New Zealand from us. we've worked in unison with Tourism New Zealand on this video, and tomorrow you'll be receiving a follow-up email from us. And if any of you require the video, we are more than happy to send it for you to kind of showcase to your clients on your own social media. We've also put some sample itineraries together. Again, we just find that providing different elements that clients can do, it gives them a real flavour of the experiences that they can have. So all you need to do, again, in our follow-up, you'll find a link which takes you to our website, whereby we have a whole folder of images, social media tiles that you can use. And we've obviously got some discounts as well. So we mentioned the motorhomes, we've obviously got distinction as well. But we've also got an agent's incentive as well. So you'll be receiving a £100 Amazon voucher if you make a booking which is confirmed by the 30th of September. Once deposit is paid, it is paid out immediately. So do see if you can entice some of those clients who may be thinking about and pushing them slightly to confirm this month. And then we also have our agents Facebook group, and with that, it's worth joining, because I ensure that, you know, our marketing team, myself, we post in there every single day. It could be videos, it's inspirational. It's a fantastic way of just drip feeding to your clientele and your own social media. So definitely do. Again, we will send the link. So if you can't capture the picture at the moment, we will ensure that we'll send it to you tomorrow. But hopefully that has given you a fantastic insight into the suppliers that we work with. You know, Distinction are a really fantastic independent, you know, hotel chain that is local to New Zealand, and that's really important to the heart of what ANZCRO is all about. And the fact that you've got Te Patu with the cultural side, which I think is always such an important aspect when you're actually traveling to our destinations. So thank you for giving up your time. We really appreciate that. I will push it out there for any questions that anybody might have. Jan is on hand, so feel free to test him, ask him anything that you need to know. No, gosh, I think you've answered everything. Yeah. Thank you for your time, everybody. We really do appreciate that. As I say, we will send a follow-up with all the details that we've talked about. But have a wonderful Tuesday, and thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone, and thank you.
Can you hear me a second?
Oh yes. Oh, you've just
Sorry,
come on.
It's Adrian. Sorry, I was only going to say, because there's a couple of people said about that the highlight for some of my clients has been that Maori cultural experience.
Oh.
So I just saw a couple of fellow TCs saying that they might suggest they add on, etc. Please do. Absolutely fantastic. I had an awesome time, and even phoned me to say how amazing it was. So that's how good it is.
Oh,
So,
no, I really
brilliant.
appreciate that. It really does. I mean,
that is great to hear.
If any of you are speaking to our res team, Jane went on her own holiday, and she did it, and she said it was absolutely just awe-inspiring. And so, you know, anytime I get an opportunity to speak to agents, I always ask them to include Te Patu into their itinerary. It's a really, it's so hard to describe. Because,
I was about to say, yes, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, no,
I was about to, because I always feel when I talk about it, I'm like, it's so difficult to get the message across. And, you know, it's so easy to say, yes, it's authentic, it's, you know, it's immersive, it's all these things. But yeah, no, great to hear, Grant.
It is. I mean, I was very fortunate because the experience, you know, I was there as part of a conference, and they came out, and honestly, everybody was just kind of awestruck by it. You know, you get really pulled in by the stories that they tell, and, you know, the history of family culture. It definitely something that has to be included. I know sometimes people look at Rotorua and where it's located and they think, oh, you know, shall we bypass it? But if there is a way, and there is a lot of things now happening in Rotorua for people to actually have other experiences, to, you know, to allow them to include that as part of it. So, quick question, Jan, what time does it start and finish?
So it's a 4-hour experience. You're picked up from your hotel about 5:30, 5:30 to 5:45, depending on which hotel you're at, and you're back at about 10 o'clock in the evening. So yeah.
Adrian, thank you for that, making that comment. Really appreciate it. Anybody else? How are we doing? Oh, thank you. Well, listen, thank you again for participating. It really is important to us to be able to share our love for New Zealand, and we really appreciate you giving up your time as well. So thank you for that as well.
Thanks, Adrian. Sorry, I think I called you Grant earlier. Sorry.
Have a good day.
No
Have a good day, everyone.
All right. Thank you for today, everybody.